What would you do if a loved one suddenly vanished without a trace? This is the chilling reality the Murphy family had to face. We're delving into the Samantha Murphy case, a mystery that gripped a nation and tested the mettle of a small-town community. Samantha, a vibrant and outgoing young woman, disappeared on a day just like any other. The initial missing person report sent shockwaves through the community, leading to an immediate and robust response from the local police. The early hours of the investigation were a flurry of activity. Officers knocked on doors, combed through CCTV footage, and interviewed potential witnesses. The local community rallied, with hundreds of volunteers joining the search, their faces etched with determination and hope. From the dense woods surrounding the town to the quiet suburban streets where Samantha was last seen, no stone was left unturned. Yet, despite these exhaustive efforts, the initial search provided more questions than answers. As investigators dug deeper into Samantha's life, they found no reason for her to vanish. She was adored by her friends, cherished by her family, and had big dreams for her future. This wasn't a case of a runaway teen or a domestic dispute gone awry. It was a case of a girl who seemed to have simply disappeared into thin air. The lack of leads was disheartening. The police were doing everything they could, but they were running against the clock. As each day passed, the chances of finding Samantha alive began to dwindle, yet the community refused to give up. Candlelight vigils were held, missing person flyers were distributed, and the hashtag #FindSamanthaMurphy trended nationwide. The message was clear: Samantha was not forgotten, and the search for her would not stop until she was found. But as days turned into weeks, the hope of finding Samantha alive began to fade. The vibrant girl with a contagious laugh who had been the heart of her community was now at the center of a mystery that would leave a lasting impact on everyone involved. With no leads and a growing sense of desperation, the police decided to turn the case over to the homicide department. As the days turned into weeks, the initial optimism that Samantha Murphy would be found safe and sound began to wane. The heart-wrenching journey of a missing person case took a dark turn, morphing into a potential homicide investigation. This shift was not taken lightly. It was a decision that bore the weight of acknowledging a grimmer reality, one that the Murphy family and the community were reluctant to accept. Yet, the ticking clock and the chilling absence of Samantha demanded urgency and a change in approach. With the case now in the hands of seasoned homicide detectives, we see a new team stepping into the scene. These investigators, armed with years of experience and a gritty determination, began to view the case through a different lens. The possibility of murder was not just a frightening thought anymore, it was a theory that needed to be explored, dissected, and either confirmed or dismissed. The shift in the investigation also meant a change in strategy. The search for Samantha was no longer just about tracing her last known whereabouts or piecing together her final hours before she vanished. It was about looking for a potential culprit, a motive, a method. It was about combing through her personal life, her relationships, her routines, for any signs of foul play or a hidden enemy lurking in the shadows. This new direction in the investigation brought with it an air of tension. The police were under immense pressure. The community was on edge, their hopes for Samantha's safe return slowly giving way to fear. And for the Murphy family, the wait became even more agonizing. They were left in suspense, their worst fears coming to the forefront as the investigators began to comb through every aspect of Samantha's life. The Murphy family was left in suspense as investigators began to comb through every aspect of Samantha's life. The new chapter in the search for Samantha Murphy had begun, and the stakes had never been higher. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, investigators made a chilling discovery. Samantha Murphy, the young woman whose disappearance had captured the nation's attention, had been found. Her body was located in a secluded area, far from the bustling city life she was known to relish. The discovery was heartbreaking, yet it provided investigators with the breakthrough they desperately needed in the case. At the crime scene, investigators meticulously gathered evidence, leaving no stone unturned. They found a series of clues that, while seemingly insignificant on their own, painted a broader picture when pieced together. Among these was a unique piece of jewelry, not belonging to Samantha, that was found near her body. It was a distinctive charm bracelet, the kind that isn't easily forgotten or overlooked. Forensic experts were able to lift a partial fingerprint from the bracelet, and it didn't match any of Samantha's known associates. This was the first tangible lead investigators had in the case, a beacon of hope in the darkness. Further analysis of the crime scene revealed tire tracks near the area where Samantha's body was found. The pattern of these tracks was unusual, indicating a vehicle make and model that was not commonly seen in the area. This gave investigators another valuable piece of evidence to pursue. The breakthrough in the case didn't stop at the physical evidence. Surveillance footage from businesses near the area where Samantha was last seen revealed an individual wearing a charm bracelet matching the one found at the crime scene. The footage wasn't clear enough to identify the person, but it provided investigators with a timeline and a potential suspect description. While the discovery of Samantha's body brought a tragic end to the search for her, it also ignited a new phase in the investigation. The evidence found at the scene and the leads it provided were instrumental in steering investigators in a new direction. The charm bracelet, the tire tracks, and the surveillance footage were puzzle pieces that, when put together, started to form a picture of a potential suspect. With a suspect in mind, investigators were one step closer to solving the Samantha Murphy murder case. With a suspect identified, it was a race against time to bring Samantha's killer to justice. The hunt was on, a manhunt like none other, with every available resource mobilized to corner the suspect. The man under the scanner had left a trail, a path that law enforcement hoped would lead them straight to him. The city was on high alert, a predator was on the loose, and the urgency to capture him was palpable. Details of the chase read like a thriller novel. Law enforcement agencies worked tirelessly, following every lead, every hint that could bring them closer to the suspect. The chase stretched across state lines, through city streets, and into the rural heartland. It was a pursuit that would test the endurance of the authorities and the patience of a city holding its breath. The suspect was elusive, but what he didn't realize was that his evasion was building a case against him. Every move he made, every attempt to escape, added to the growing body of evidence. The authorities were not just chasing a man, they were collecting proof that would later prove instrumental in securing charges against him. And then, the breakthrough. After a relentless pursuit, the suspect was cornered. The capture was swift and precise, a testament to the efficiency and dedication of the law enforcement agencies involved. The man who had managed to evade capture for days was finally in custody. The city breathed a collective sigh of relief. The charges brought against the suspect were severe and numerous. From the heinous act of taking Samantha's life to the subsequent evasion of law enforcement, each charge carried with it a heavy penalty. The evidence collected during the chase played a crucial role in building the case against him, a case that was solid and damning. With the suspect in custody, the Murphy family could finally begin to seek justice for Samantha. In the courtroom, the evidence was laid bare for all to see. A canvas of clues, a tapestry of testimonies, all painting a chilling portrait of the last days of Samantha Murphy. The trial proceedings, a gripping drama of their own, held everyone's attention. The prosecution, armed with extensive forensic evidence, eyewitness testimony, and damning surveillance footage, built an ironclad case against the accused. The defense, on the other hand, attempted to sow seeds of doubt. They questioned the reliability of the forensic evidence, suggested that the eyewitness testimonies were influenced by media coverage, and argued the surveillance footage was inconclusive. But their efforts were like trying to hold back an ocean with a paper dam. The weight of the evidence was too overwhelming, too compelling. The jury, a cross-section of the community, was tasked with the enormous responsibility of deciding the fate of the accused. They listened, they deliberated, and they weighed the evidence. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as they returned to deliver their verdict. Guilty. The word echoed in the silent courtroom, a resounding affirmation that justice would be served. The sentencing of the convicted killer followed swiftly. A life sentence without the possibility of parole. A severe punishment for a heinous crime. Relief washed over the faces of Samantha's family and friends, a small consolation in their ocean of grief. While justice was served, the loss of Samantha Murphy remains a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places.